I tend to take a close look at these legislative proposals, but the key, in my opinion, is making sure that we're able to trace these shell companies back to who is specifically benefiting and directing them. That is, any serious effort to determine ownership must only stop when a specific individual or individuals have been identified. Too often we take one step and find another shell company and stop right there. That doesn't lead us anywhere. We have to find the individuals who are benefiting from and directing these activities. The use of these shell companies, as I've said repeatedly throughout my comments, have a real effect on our national security. As the special counsel indictment against what is commonly called the troll factory shows, close Putin ally Yevgeny Prigozhin was funding an organization conducting what is called information warfare against the United States. Prigozhin used 14 affiliated shell companies to fund this operation as a way to hide the true source of funds. Without the full investigatory power and subpoena power of the special counsel's office, we probably would not have uncovered the true ownership behind this operation. The Kremlin designs it that way, and we can't keep letting them getting away with this type of opaque exploitation of our system. Part and parcel with exposing beneficial ownership would be to stand up an interagency task force led by FinCEN to follow the flow of illicit Russian money into the United States. This task force should leverage the intelligence community, the State Department, and other relevant government agencies to take a comprehensive approach to uncovering where the money is going and how these ill-gotten gains are being spent. Remaining passive, waiting for something to pop up in the media, sitting back and waiting is not going to deter, disrupt, and finally defeat these deliberate Russian incursions in an attempt to undermine our basic institutions. And I will continue to work with my colleagues in the Banking Committee, the Armed Services Committee, and the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, and others to ensure that our national security apparatus has the requisite authorities. But what we need now is initiative by the administration to fully resource and to direct a comprehensive approach, as I suggest perhaps through FinCEN, to detect, disrupt, and prevent this Russian interference. We need to put the appropriate resources against this threat. The heart of our democracy, our election process, was attacked by the Russians. And as we learned yesterday from Admiral Roberts of Cyber Command, is under attack as we speak today. And we can expect the attacks against the 2018 election cycle to increase with both frequency, boldness, and unfortunately effectiveness if we remained passive, indeed paralyzed, as we are today. We have to recognize that this money that is being generated by these malign financial activities is being used not only to enrich Putin and his cronies, it's being used to attack the United States very effectively. Putin has exploited our own laws that favor financial secrecy and use clandestine tactics to his advantage at a relatively inexpensive cost. Increasing, for example, resources to FinCEN in the Treasury Department, or standing up and funding a task force, as I described, and devoting the necessary resources to tracing shell companies back to the people responsible would be a small fraction of what it would cost and what it does cost to use conventional forces to deter Russian aggression. Deploying a combat team to the Baltics is more expensive, I would suspect, than setting up a team of experts here in Washington that will go after this funding streams. And without the money, they can't conduct the operations. And Mr. President, we often hear the expression, follow the money, as a way to identify the cause of a problem. And that is true here also. Today, we know that our democracy and many others are under attack by the government of Russia. Responding to this reality will require a comprehensive strategy to counter Russian asymmetric and hybrid tactics. However, as I laid out, an immediate step we can take is a concerted effort to bring greater transparency to our financial system. And if we fail to do so, we will continue to have that very secrecy used against our national security interests and the interest of our allies. Now is the time to act. We are being attacked.